Hello, happy Friday. How are you? Welcome. This is Joe, your unicorn mama coach from MomFit with Joe Peters. Welcome to the Spanglish Network and her network on single TV channel 250 and 250. Please, before we start, remember to download both the single TV app on the respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. While you download the app, make sure to rate it and leave a comment. The app is free and you can have it in your tablet, in your phone. Bingo is also available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Fire TV Stick, Roku, and Roku Stick, and also in all the smart TVs since 2016. So make sure that you have everything there so you don't miss any monthly show and get advantage of all the other TV shows that we have in this amazing channel, Spanglish. I am super excited to start this journey with you, and I will start with telling you about MomFit and about what MomFit is and what you as a mom you as a mama is going to start learning every Friday at 10 a.m. with me and some of our special guests, some experts around the world in the topic of motherhood. So let me start with this. And if you are at home, I want you to take a pen and write this down. Motherhood is not a sprint, motherhood is a marathon. And I want you to let that sink in because it's a marathon for life. When we start this journey and we get pregnant, we start getting ready for this marathon. The issue is not a lot of people help us to train for the marathon. And I will ask you something, mama. I will ask you something and I want you to be honest. If I tell you, hey, in 9 months, you're going to run a marathon, will you be just like, okay, I'm gonna just wing it and I'm gonna just see how it flows, how it feels, and then in 9 months you will just start running the marathon? I'm pretty sure that the answer is no way. If I tell you today that you're going to start a marathon in 9 months, you will start finding in your phone, in Google, apps to help you to train. You're going to start working every day in your body, in your diet, in your exercise. So when you start running the marathon, you are successful at running the marathon. You win the marathon. And that is what MomFit is. MomFit was designed to actually help you to win the marathon of motherhood. I am so sick of tired of hearing moms struggling during pregnancy, during the fourth trimester, and even in the first year of life of their babies because they feel alone, because they feel confused, because they feel overwhelmed. And the reality is, it doesn't have to be like that. I will share with you my story. In 2020, I never want kids, like ever. In my 20s, never. I get married. My husband knew that I didn't want kids. But then in 2020, something sparkled in my heart. And then I started talking with my husband. And I don't know how many of you remember this quote from one of my favorite movies, Letters to Juliet. And in that phrase, Miss the main character, Sophie, she say, "What and if are the most simple words in the universe, but when they get put together, they could daunt you for a lifetime. What if?" And that is what happened with me and my husband. In June of 2020, I started telling my husband, "What if in 5 years, in 10 years, we decide that we wish we had a baby? What if we regret not trying? What if in 10 years, 20 years, this becomes something that we look at with sadness and sorrow?" And I decided to break those two words, what if, and I said, let's gonna try. So I went to my OGB, and it was super funny, mamas, because I was sitting down there and I was telling him about that I want to start getting pregnant. I had an implant in my arm for the last 10 years. He read everything and he literally laughed at me. I was 37 years old in 2020. And he laughed at me and say, "You are a geriatric mom. By the way, that is a term that I'm fighting to remove from vocabulary, because if you are a mom over 35, in theory, you are a geriatric mom. And the issue is more and more millennials and new moms are growing their careers. They are growing in their 20s, their careers, and starting to get their pregnancies in the 30s, in the middle 30s. And they immediately are labeled with, oh, you are too old to be pregnant. But so he laughed at me and say, first, you're a geriatric mom, you are too old. Second, you are going to be 30, you're going to be, you had the implant for 10 years. So we're going to take it off, and you're going to start with your husband to try, and you're going to try for a year. And probably in a year, we will need to start doing some fertility treatments. Being the unicorn, crazy Colombian that I am, I leave that office furious. Like the Colombian fumes were exploding in my head. I was like, I'm not willing to take this as my reality. I went home. I was eating in a specific way, taking care of my body, cleaning my body, and then I got pregnant in 2 months. By October 14, I was pregnant. By November 20, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning one day and I realized that I was pregnant. It was the weirdest thing because my husband was traveling. I woke up and I was like, I need to have a pregnancy test. From nowhere. I had some pregnancy tests in the bathroom. They were old. I pee on the stick. Positive. No, no, no. These are expired. I'm going to do it again. Pee again. Positive. I did 5 tests before I actually start letting that sing that I was actually pregnant. And what I did in my pregnancy was I study and work and play towards what I want to be a reality for me. And that was, I want to have a positive, amazing, magical pregnancy and birth experience. I did not buy into the movies and the TV shows where you see the moms giving birth screaming in pain and saying, screaming and yelling and hitting at their spouses. I was refusing to have that as my reality. And I did it. I create tools for the body, the mind, and the emotion that allow me to actually have an amazing pregnancy. I was bouncing in a ball and dancing Zumba and coaching all day long until the day before my baby was born. My baby, I started labor Friday at 4 o'clock in the morning. My baby was born Saturday at midnight, at Saturday at 12 p.m. So Saturday, Friday to Saturday. And then I did everything in my life until Thursday before. And the reason for that was because I was prepared. I was ready. I was not starting to run the marathon without preparation. And that started my desire to actually help you, mama. If you are trying to get pregnant, if you are pregnant in your first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, we are going to be talking here in MomFit about things that we can do, about the taboos. We are going to be breaking lies and paradigms and things that people in society assume as true that really are not true. And then my baby was here. I had the most amazing birth. I give birth in a natural way, unmedicated, and I was actually blessed enough that when we did our birth plan, we decided that my husband was going to pick up the baby. We'll take the baby out when the baby was born. So when we get to that moment and the baby's head and torso were out of my body, then the midwife looked at my husband and say, "Okay, take the baby." And my husband looked at my baby, and my baby looked very jello-y, very fragile. And my husband panicked, and he was like, No, no, I cannot. What if I drop him? So the midwife yelled at me and said, Joe, take your baby. And I was able to reach my hands in between my legs, pick up my baby, hold my baby from his torso, and bring him to my chest. And that is the experience that now I'm dedicated to share with moms. That is what I am so grateful with the Spanglish Network and with this amazing community to allow us to actually build that reality for you and for all the mamas to be in the world. And then having all that happening, I fail. I failed really, really bad. The fourth trimester took me down into my knees because I was preparing for the 9 months. I was preparing only for a 10K. I was not preparing for a marathon. So I did very good the first 10K. I ran and I was keeping up, and I did perfect on my pregnancy. But then at that point when the baby was born, I didn't prepare to keep going in the marathon of motherhood. And that is when it really hit me as a brick in the head. I actually started struggling with postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, and really getting into very dark times, considering if I was making a mistake, if I was a good mom, if it will be, if I will have what it takes to raise this tiny baby. And it was so challenging. It was challenging for me, for my husband, for our baby. And what I started learning while I was in the middle of that storm was that one, I was not prepared. Two, I didn't have a strong enough support system that was aligned with my vision of motherhood, that was aligned with what I want to have. And then three, I realized that society sucks around postpartum. We have this idea and this flow of information that after you have a baby, everything is unicorns and butterflies, that everything flows, that everything is magical, that you bond with your baby right away. And what I discovered through tears and tears, what I discovered over nights of holding my baby and crying my eyes out, was that it was not always like that. And the most important part is it is okay. It is okay to not be okay. It is okay for you to struggle in postpartum. What is not okay is that you go through that without any preparation, any advice, any insight of what is coming. If you are prepared, then when those things come, when those emotions come, when those situations come, you are going to have the tools and the support system to actually go through them and have also a positive experience, a wonderful experience in your um, in your fourth trimester. For the ones, because I know that we are global network around the world are watching this show, so to level up concepts, I was talking with a friend of mine, and she was like, "The four what? What do you mean fourth trimester? Moms are pregnant, women are pregnant for 3 trimester." No, we are pregnant for 4 trimesters. The issue is because our brain develops so much as humans to be able to speak, to be able to do everything that we do with our hands, to be able to think, imagine all that, that our body will not be able to carry our baby for the full 4 trimesters. So, because nature is completely perfect, what happened is our body decided that it was going to give birth to the baby far enough that the baby will survive outside the body, but still keep the developing of the baby for the 4th trimester, like if the baby was inside of us. So the fourth trimester is the first 3 months of your baby with you after it's born. And in those first 3 months on that fourth trimester, both your body and your baby think that your baby is still inside of you. Both your baby and your body think that you are one. That is something that not a lot of people know. So if you are in the fourth trimester and somebody told you that your baby needs to sleep in a bassinet and that you cannot hold your baby too long because you are going to spoil them, and your baby is crying in the bassinet and you are pulling your hair because you don't know what is wrong with your baby that cannot soothe and calm down, well, it's because your baby still thinks that he's inside of you. And your baby actually is missing your heartbeat and is a little scared about the textures and the cold and the noise. And when we know these things, we are able to do something that we as mamas need to do every day. And if you have a pen and paper, I want you to write this down again. And it's you can show yourself grace. And you can show your baby grace. Grace to know that you are not doing anything wrong. Grace to know that your baby is not doing anything wrong. Grace to know that you two are in the fourth trimester learning how to balance that final trimester of developing the baby body, the baby brain, and your body as an outside relationship that is still is bound from the inside. Now, every week, we are going to have different topics here. We are going to be going all the way from nutrition, hydration in pregnancy, how to prepare for birth, how to give birth in an easy, enjoyable way, the fourth trimester, lactation, pees and poos of the baby in the first year, the fourth trimester for the mom, your mental health, how you can handle that, your relationship with your partner, how to create boundaries with your family and friends, how to define the kind of mother that you want to be. Because this is something I was talking with one of my moms, because I'm studying my coaching program, the 18, and I was talking with one of the moms that is studying the program about boundaries. And then with tears in her eyes, she said, everybody and their mother had an opinion about how I should be feeding my baby, about how I should put my baby to sleep, about how often I should bath my baby. Everybody had an opinion. And one of the things that we are doing in MomFit is we are talking and discussing how you can create your own boundaries. Because, Mama, this is something that I will tell you today and always. That is why the logo of MomFit had a heart. Because when you follow your heart, when you are able to tune into your heart and into your intuition, you have the answers for you and your baby. And I want to invite you, I want to encourage you, I want to inspire you to work in connecting with that intuition, connecting with that heart, connecting with that you know inside of you. And we are going to be learning together here what are some of the tools that we can actually use, that we can actually work on, some of the tools that we can actually move. And if you hear that, that is my sweet baby. And that is the motherhood lifestyle. He is in a phase where he do not like to be change his diapers. So we are going to learn how to tune in and know that we always can receive feedback. We can always receive feedback and input from everybody. And when we learn two things, and this is one of the takeaways from this from this episode today, two takeaways around feedback. The first one is everybody that is giving you feedback is giving you feedback because they care about you and your baby, because they love you and your baby, because they want the best for you and your baby. So when you have that clear, that is going to take a little bit that stress and that pressure from you, because you are going to know that they have good intentions. That's the first one on feedback. The second one is you can take all that information, all that feedback, and how I explain it with my mamas is you're going to put it in a filter. You're going to put it in a container that is going to filter, and you, only you, is going to be, you are the one that is going to be able to choose what feedback you take, what feedback you consider, and what feedback you actually wrinkle in a little piece of paper and put in the dumpster. Because one amazing lesson and one amazing tool that I want to share with all of you today is not because somebody had more babies than you, not because somebody's older than you, they always know better than you. We all are doing the best that we can with what we have. And in motherhood, especially, 100% of the advice that we normally give is an advice that we give to other moms based on our experience. Once I'm gonna give my baby a kiss for napping time because that is motherhood, right? Hi, Night. Can you say hi? Yes, hi. And that is another thing that I want to encourage all of you moms to actually embrace in motherhood is we are into a society that is pushing us into fitting in some specific boxes, fitting in some specific parameters. And then we are here, I am here to actually hold your hand and say, we can create our own. We can actually have it all. We can actually thrive in motherhood, in our career, in our family, in our relationship with our spouse. This is one of my favorite mantras. We can have it all, but we cannot do it all. And that is the biggest problem of us moms, moms that work, moms that stay at home, moms on all shapes and form, pregnant moms, moms to be, new moms, all moms. And that is that we want to have it all, but we think that to have it all, we need to do it all. That is what we are here every Friday to actually start breaking some of those concepts, start breaking up some of those paradigms, and start giving you some inspiration, some insight into what really is possible for you as a mom. Okay. So I am going to ask you to share with your friends, with your family, if you know somebody that is a mom to be, or is wanting to get pregnant, or is already a mom of a newborn, or is a mom of a baby in the first year of life. I want you to share this show, to share Spanglish, to share these tools that we are giving you as a community to actually win the marathon of motherhood, to actually feel empowered in motherhood. One of my life purposes is, after looking back on the first 3 months of my baby life, I have a lot of sadness because I really didn't enjoy fully those first 3 months. I was drowning every day. I was in a survival mode every day. I was struggling to keep myself and my baby alive. And that struggle took away the joy of those first 3 months. And when I look back, that was one of the main reasons why I decided to take my life into the mission of making sure that not one other mom will go through that alone. that not one other mom will go through that journey without knowing what to expect. So that is why I am here and I'm partnering with Spanglish to actually help you, mama, to have the pregnancy, the birth, and the recovery that you and your baby deserve. One of the things that people don't know, moms don't know, society don't talk about is your body, mom, your body take 18 months to actually heal, to actually get back to normal. 18 months. And then we have countries like in the United States where after you give birth, the maximum maternity leave that you have, if you are lucky, is 6 weeks. 6 weeks, and you have to go back to work. 6 weeks when you are thinking that you are in a fourth trimester. 6 of 12 weeks of your baby still thinking that it's inside of you. And then we wonder why postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, postpartum OCD, and all of these mood trastorns, why we wonder why moms are struggling so much. Actually, the statistics are scary. Is 20% of new moms suffer from one mood disorder. We are going to be talking about them a lot here. But to give you a perspective about 20%, I want you to imagine 5 moms. 20% is one on every 5 moms is struggling with a mood disorder postpartum. 1 of 5. So next time that you are in a room with other moms that are either pregnant or with babies, I want you to start thinking about that and count like every fifth mom, one of them is struggling. One of them is having a hard time. One of them is self-doubting themselves as a mom. That is why we need to stay together. That is why we need to work together. That is why we need to prepare ourselves for the marathon of motherhood. That is why we need to stop thinking that it's just a sprint or a 10K, and then that the work is the first 9 months, and then after that, things flow. We need to put as much or even more energy in the preparation of the first year of life of our baby that what we did on the pregnancy. Today, we're going to start with some of the most basic tips and concepts to prepare our body to actually be the host of the magic of developing your baby. Okay. And a couple of them are the first one, water. And I know some of you are going to be rolling your eyes and say, oh, okay, Joe. Yeah. Everybody says that we need to drink water. Everybody says that it's important to drink water. And I want to give you an additional perspective on the water while you are preparing to get pregnant, when you are pregnant, and when you are in the fourth trimester, the first year of life of your baby, especially if you are breastfeeding. I think that we all know that our body is over 76% water content. And yeah, we say, okay, yeah, 76 water content. What some of us don't know is our cells are filled with water. And if we don't have, the cells don't have enough water, the cells start shrinking and then start trying to survive with less water, with as less water as possible. And when they are shrinking and not happy, they are not able to actually work properly in both supporting the building and the creation of new life, but also building and supporting your own body. Because this is one of the few times that I talk about the babies in a weird way, but the best example that I have around what happened in your body when you are pregnant, when you have a baby growing inside of you, is an alien. Your baby is almost like this capsule with an alien, and your baby is going to take whatever he or she needs to grow, from wherever she had it. She's not going to negotiate with you. She's not going to negotiate with your body. If you are not having enough hydration, she's not going to say, okay, mom, let's gonna split the hydration that you have half and half. No, your baby's going to say, I need hydration. If you're not hydrated, literally survive for a survival mechanism, that is not my problem. I'm going to take all the water that I need, and then you handle the lack on your own. There are beautiful, beautiful studies. And I say beautiful because they are showing the magic of how perfect nature is, about moms in the concentration camps being pregnant, being scared about their babies because they are starving to death. They are in very poor conditions. They are not very well nourished or supported, and they were scared about their babies. And their babies were born completely healthy because the baby was just taking everything that it needs from the host, from the mom. The mom was the one that gets depleted. The mom is the one that gets low. The mom is the one that carry on for almost 2 years to actually get back to pre-pregnancy levels and stability. So water allows your body to actually not only give the baby what it needs, but support your body and your functions properly. It allows your body to actually be strong enough to create every phase of pregnancy. Okay? This is the second thing that a lot of people don't know about water. For us females, when we are not feeling safe, when we are having a stress, when we are having cortisol, we constrain, we retract, we hold because we don't know when things are going to be safe again. Drinking water is one of those prehistoric hacks to share with your body that you are safe. When you are stressed, when you are worrying, this is a tip for you when you are in your entire pregnancy in the fourth trimester. If you are worried, if you are stressed, remember one of the things that you could do is drink water. Why? Because when we were living in nature, when we were living in jungles millions and millions of years ago, water was a precious resource and it was not available all the time. There were times that people struggle to find water. That is why you see in some of the movies how the animals in Africa and even the tribes were nomads and move around because they were not available all the time. The water was not available all the time. What they were had available was not all the food, and the water was not available all the time. So water at a reptile brain instinct genetical perspective is a synonym of safety. When you are having enough water, you are actually telling your body, I am safe, I am secure, my baby is safe to grow in this environment, my baby is safe to grow here. And then you are using a physical hack like drinking your water to actually reduce your cortisol, to actually send the message to your system and to your baby that you are in a safe environment. And you're going to be like, okay, Joe, yeah, but I'm in a safe environment. Like I am in a safe environment, everything is fine. Okay. The reality, mama, is that stress works in very weird ways in our brain. Stress and cortisol were designed to keep you alive and safe. And when I talk about alive and safe, I'm talking about life threatening circumstances, like a lion chasing you, or a rhino chasing you. Those were danger, life threatening conditions. And that is where the cortisol was. As we start evolving through centuries and centuries and centuries, that danger starts shifting. And now our danger can be that we are stressed because we have a big meeting next Monday. We are stressed because we have a hard conversation with our in-laws or with our partner or with our team. The problem is your brain do not understand the difference between these two. Your brain don't understand that the conversation with your boss is not going to put your life in jeopardy. If you are stressed about it, your brain put it at the same level that the lion chasing you to eat you. And why is important that? Like you are thinking, okay, Joe, why? Like, yeah, well, you are telling me that water is going to make me be less stressed. Yes, and this is why it's very important, and it's going to be something that is going to change the way that you see hydration and water from now on. And that is cortisol levels. High levels of cortisol level during the pregnancy are being proved in research to increase preterm birth, to increase miscarriage, to increase delay development in the fetus, to increase preeclampsia, that is high blood pressure in your body when you are pregnant, and then postnatal delays. All five of them are some scary things that you could avoid and reduce the risk for you and your baby having the stress low, making sure that you are grounded. And a very easy tip is sipping your water throughout the day. One of the tips that I tell all my mamas is go to a store, get a nice bottle. This one is, I will be a unicorn because I am your unicorn coach. Get a bottle of water with a straw and get the practice and the habit starting in pregnancy to have enough water. And when I'm talking about water, I know some of you are not going to like this, but that is the kind of coach that I am. I'm going to be the coach that you need, not the coach that you want. When I'm talking about hydration, your coffee, your black tea, your Starbucks, your Pepsi, your Gatorade, your Powerade, they don't count as hydration. And they don't count as hydration because you have so much other things in those liquids. You have refined sugars, you have flavors, you have chemicals that when they got into your body struggle understanding what they are and how to process them. So when I'm talking about hydration, I'm talking about water. And if you are like me, because I'm gonna tell you a secret, and this is the kind of coach that I am, and this is how I work with my mamas in my group coaching. I am here telling you this because I screw up so many times. So I'm talking by experience. I'm talking by what I make a mistake on and what I learn. And I want you to avoid the mistakes that I make. So I'm going to tell you a secret. I never drink water before. I actually had fights with my husband because my husband would be like, I would be like, I have a headache. And he would be like, drink water. And I would be like, oh my gosh. When I was in Colombia, I'm not kidding you. My breakfast was with Coke. I know, I know, I know. If I knew back then what I know now and I'm sharing with you, my life would be a lot different. But I didn't like water. So I know that some of you are actually saying, I cannot drink that much water, Joe. Like I need my Coke and my Starbucks and my Pepsi and my tea, and I cannot do that. And I want to tell you that one of the things and one of the tools that we are going to be learning through our weekly connects here in MomFit is the concept preparing for the marathon of motherhood of progress over perfection. I'm not asking you to just hocus pocus change completely what you are doing and then have 100% water and nothing else. I'm inviting you to add more water into your life. So if you get a container like this one is 25 ounces, I will invite you to say, okay, now I'm going to have just one of those of water per day. And if early on, because you are so used to the flavors or the other liquids that you have, you are not enjoying the water, there are a couple of tips that you can have. The first one is add some natural flavors. Make it fancy. Like, I don't know how many of you remember when you are in a hotel and you see in a hotel a nice glass container with water, with some cucumber slices and some lemon and even some maybe strawberries, and that looked fancy. That looked like hotel fancy, right? So you can do the same in your house. You can do your hotel fancy water in your house. So put some flavors. Some of the ones that I love the most are cucumber and strawberry. Slices of cucumber and slices of strawberry, delicious. Another one that I really like is mint with lemon. Another one that I enjoy a lot is one with um, blueberries. And I start having some of those flavors in the water to drink it up. The other tip, and this is something that the medical groups are actually working on and finding why, is when you are using a straw, you drink more water. And one of the hypotheses on this research on why is because when you have a straw, you are getting back into that memory in your brain of when you were breastfeeding and when you were early on sucking. Actually, that was a magical thing that happened with babies. Like if you are a new mom and you have a baby that is around 6 months old, I will invite you to skip the sippy cup. Buy them um, a, a little container with a straw. And then when you put the straw in their mouth, that is going to activate the same reflex that they use to actually suck the milk either from your breast or from the bottle. And they're going to start sucking. And then that is one of the hypotheses why it's a lot easier for us to drink water with a straw than with a cup. So get a straw, get some flavors. And then the third hack that I have around water today is herbal teas. Especially for in my Spanglish community, everybody that is on the south hemisphere that is getting close to winter, that the temperatures are going to start getting cold. Sometimes it's really hard to get the water when it's cold and the weather is cold. So a beautiful hack is herbal teas. It's how do you use your herbal teas to increase your consumption of water. So have some peppermint tea, some cinnamon tea. One of my favorites, rooibos chai, that had a mix of spices of rooibos and cinnamon. So what I'm showing you with this is in MomFit is not a cookie cutting one tip fit everybody. My job here and what I do also in my group with my mamas is finding how we put the general solutions into your lifestyle, into your decision process, into what work for you. Because after 15 years of coaching and after going around the world on 4 continents, 25 countries, one of the things that I learned is when we try to take the individual and make them fit the process, we stop creating lasting results. Because any of you can move into trying to fit a process, but that is not going to be lasting change. That is not going to be lasting results. The only thing that is going to do is going to be a short-term band-aid. And because we were talking about motherhood being a marathon, we don't want a band-aid. We don't want a shortcut. We don't want a short-term change or win. My goal and my desire for you, mama, is that as you start walking this journey with me, you get lasting results. You get lifestyle changes. You are able to feel empowered with the tools and the tips and the processes that we are going to be sharing here and that we're going to be sharing in the group to actually allow you to bloom as a mom. And you're wondering, wait, Joe, why you're doing all this? Like, yeah, you already told me that you want moms to have all the beautiful pregnancy that you had and be able to recreate a positive, amazing experience on pregnancy. And you are very passionate about making sure that not other mamas struggle with depression and anxiety and the fourth trimester like you did. And why is that? And mamas, sisters, I will tell you why. We, we women, we are goddesses. We are unicorns. We have magic. We bring life into the world. If we choose to not have babies anymore, humanity will die in 2 generations. We are the center of humanity growing and expanding. And even more important, we, ugh, and I get chill bumps on that one. We we have in our hands the power to change the world with the way that we raise and educate our children. They are in our homes. They are under our wing for at least 18 years. And the reality is, I'm not liking the world that I'm seeing right now. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I'm not liking how the governments are handling things in the world. I'm not liking how the world is divided and working. And this is my grain of sand towards changing the world. Be the change that you want to see in the world. I'm being the change. I know that if I help my moms, if I help you as a mom to get in your mom fit empowerment, if I get you to get into your momfidence, that is having that mom confidence, I call it momfidence. If I help you to get that momfidence, if I help you to thrive, if I help you to be in your top game during pregnancy, birth, and the first year, that is going to give you a quick start to start keeping the community and start raising your child and having the tools to raise your child so that your child change the world. Your child, my child, our children. Our children can change the world. One study that was happening around meditation was saying that if we were teaching children to meditate before the age 7 years old, and all the children in the world will start meditating before the age of 7 years old, the studies and the hypothesis was that violence, physical violence, will be eradicated in 2 generations, 1.5 generations. And to be completely honest, that's the selfish part of MomFit. So I want you to thrive. I want you to win the marathon of motherhood. I want you to actually enjoy your pregnancy, your birth, your fourth trimester, the first year and a half of your baby. And I want you to enjoy and love that because I want you to build that foundation to actually raise a baby boy or a baby girl that changed the world. That be joining my baby that you just saw, and they together change the world, that they have a better world than the one that we are having right now. That is in overall what we are doing in MomFit. I am super excited to start this journey with you. We are going to be doing a mix between some Fridays I'm going to be coming with a specific topic, giving you a lot of tips. And then some Fridays we're going to have a special guest that is going to come and talk about and expertise around motherhood, around pregnancy, around birth. And I'm inviting you to join us live. And if you join us live, you can actually send questions and interact with us. I would love to have you interacting with us live, knowing that it requires a village. And this is with the message that I want to close with today. You were not supposed to do this alone. I was talking with a mom this week that is joining my group challenge next week, and she was alone. She was not having a lot of support, and she was with tears, struggling, feeling that she was not doing a good job. And I told her, it was never meant to be like this. It was never meant to be for you to do this alone. I was actually having the pleasure to be in Africa, and that will be another session where I'm going to share my insight with Africa. But I was in Africa with the Hadza tribe, that is one of the oldest lineages of humanity, and I spent with them almost a week, a couple of days, and there you are not able to see which baby belongs to which mom because it requires a village. It requires support. If you go 100 years ago or 200 years ago, motherhood was not like that, like this now. Motherhood was you had your baby and you have your mom and your aunts and your neighbors and everybody around you supporting you, helping you, making sure that you are doing the right things, making sure that you have the right support. And unfortunately, we don't have that much now. So my goal is to create a village for you now. Create a village where you can feel supported, you can feel heard, you can feel loved, and that you know that you could come to this MomFit village. You can come to this MomFit community knowing that I always have your back, that we are doing this together. So, with that being said, I love having you here. Hope to see you next Friday, Friday the 15th at 10 a.m. And I want to let you know that this show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out the network www.spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. I'm going to share that link on the comments on the live stream so you had it. Join the Spanglish world. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. We are here to make your life better. With this show and with all the other shows that are here to make your life, your experience easier, better, faster, more enjoyable. So again, go into spanglishworld.ca, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thank you so much for this amazing 55 minutes. And I hope that you take the notes and be ready to implement some of the things that we talk about. Remember, filter the opinions. At the end is your intuition, your MomFit heart. Filter the opinions, your MomFit heart, and what are you going to do to increase your water intake? What are you going to do to actually start building the pregnancy, the birth, the fourth trimester, and the first year of life of you as a mom and your baby, like you and your baby deserve it? So if you didn't yet, or if you came late, remember that you can download the Single TV app from all the stores, iOS and Android devices, and that the app is free. Single TV is also available on Chromecast, Amazon Fire, TV Stick, Roku Stick, and again, www.spanglishworld.ca. I'm sending you a big hug, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Ciao.